Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Alright, folks, we've got one story with a quiz, a pop quiz at the end of it today. Sorry, I ran late. I probably won't be able to read two. Sorry. Let's get started. Our first letter is titled, Am I the jerk for telling my sister that her engagement ring was cheap? I'm a 26-year-old female, and I have a wife, Katie, a 26-year-old female. I have a younger sister, Lydia, a 22-year-old female, who got engaged to her fiancé, Seth, a 24-year-old male, around a month ago. Seth's family is pretty well off. His parents both work in the business sector and can afford a very lavish lifestyle. Although Seth has a decent job, his parents send him money regularly. Well, he proposed to Lydia with a ring that they both constantly brag about, bragging about how expensive it is. Seth claims the ring is worth about $50,000. Katie is a jeweler and has been one for a long time, so Lydia asked if she could clean the ring and polish it as a favor. Katie agreed. She told me later in private that the ring is made of cheap materials and is worth no more than $30. After a long conversation, we decided it would be best if I told Lydia. Well, I talked with Lydia in private and explained to her as gently as possible that Katie had taken a good look at the ring and that it is definitely not worth the amount of money that Seth said it was. Lydia was shocked. She said Seth must have been scammed by whomever sold the ring to him. Lydia later talked to Seth. I wasn't there for that conversation, but apparently Seth knew that the ring was cheap and was just hoping that Lydia wouldn't find out. That is a bad plan, Seth. Not good, Seth. Poor form. Lydia ended up calling off the engagement and is currently staying with a friend and not talking to Seth. My parents are furious with me and Katie and accusing us of both sabotaging my sister's relationship and said that we should have minded our own business. They said that it's unfair to put pressure on men to spend a lot of money on rings and that we were being selfish. Yeah, that's what happened here. A lot of our extended family also thinks that we're the villains, so I'm wondering if we did the right thing. And edit. Lydia wanted the ring cleaned and polished as she had a photo shoot planned. Lydia isn't mad at me or Katie for telling her, she's just very upset that Seth lied to her. Alright folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. That's important information to know. 1, in case he was scammed.
Yeah.
2, if he's bragging about a $50K ring and it's $30, that's poor form.
Yeah.
And 3, cheap rings have to be handled a lot differently than diamonds because they're not as robust, and the metal, if it's not like gold, may also not be as robust.
Yeah, I think Amber has a lot of good points there. And I think the issue also is insurance, right? If he's going to get this ring insured, or is he going to lie to her about insuring it? There's a lot of things in here that could have gone wrong. And I don't know, maybe he was just planning on getting her a new $50 ring every once in a while to make sure that it looked brand new or something. Or maybe he's having financial issues and he didn't want her to know. And there's a lot of things that could be going on here. Like if he's having financial issues and he's not telling her, then that could actually be really bad too. What happens if he has gambling problems and he's not sharing that? Because it sounds like his parents are well off. It sounds like he has a decent job. So why can't he afford more than a $50 ring? That's just like so ridiculously inexpensive. Speaking of inexpensive rings, folks, pop quiz time. All right, folks, I have 4 rings on four. I held up 2 fingers, then I held up 3 fingers. I have 4 rings on the screen here, A, B, C, and D, and I want you to guess which ring is the $150,000 ring. All the other ones are cheap rings. They're under $100. So let me know what ring here you think it is, and I will tell you after I get done reading some comments. All right, let's go into the comments here. You can pause and make your guess in the comments below or something like that. And Melmoth Milton says, the fact that Seth lied and said the ring was worth $50,000 when it was actually worth $30 is the key here. He lied when he didn't have to, repeatedly from the sounds of it. It's not about the ring, it's about the dishonesty and trust. It's about character and honor. Not the jerk, she needed to know that he was lying to her. And I agree absolutely on that one. There's a lot of trust issues here, right? And Laughing Baguette says, this was my thought exactly. The ring is irrelevant. It's the fact that he lied that was comically huge. Yeah, I mean, it's such a bad lie too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Gentle Relative 2838 says, your post is strange. I'm not a jeweler, and while I might not be able to tell the difference between a $2,000 ring and a $50,000 ring, I can tell the difference between a $30 ring and a $50,000 ring. I am surprised no one in Lydia's life could see this, including Lydia, except for your wife. Speaking of telling the difference between an expensive ring and an inexpensive ring, have you made your choice? I will tell you now. Which of these rings is the expensive one and which one is not the expensive one? If you said A, then you're absolutely right. That is the expensive ring. So good job if you guessed A. B, C, D were all Amazon rings, and I also looked at the rings that people had on in the images, and they're accurate representations of what was listed there. So this isn't just like them taking a ring that looks one way and then posting it. These are actual rings that you can buy. So, all right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. Hopefully you can guess my tea a little bit better than you can guess the expensive ring, or maybe worse, depending if you guessed it right.
What falls in the winter but never gets hurt?
Leaves.
Winter.
What falls in the winter but never gets hurt? Leaves.
That would be good if it was fall. But Brian, do we have leaves by the time it becomes winter?
Yes, we do.
They're buried under like 6 feet of snow.
They fall off the trees throughout the winter. There's brown leaves that they fall off the trees.
You want to know the answer?
Oh, I thought... Oh, that wasn't the answer?
No.
I was very confused by that answer, actually. So, I was like, what is about winter that falls in winter?
No.
Oh. Yes, I suppose snow does fall in the winter and doesn't get hurt. And I somehow miraculously guessed my tea again correctly as licorice spice. I'm gonna think that Google is lying to us, folks. At first, when I was like, Google is lying to me because I never got it right, then I was really bitter about it because I was like, I'm never getting this right. But now I've gotten it right too many times in a row, and so now I'm very suspicious of you, Google. I'm very suspicious of you. I've got my eye on you, Google. I've got my eyes on you. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching. Do not forget about the live stream tomorrow, and I hope to see you all tomorrow.
And happy Friday, Junior.
Happy Friday, Junior. Bye.
Bye.